are listening to the Balancing Act podcast. Here's your hosts, Jamie Wonko and Joe Vitale.
Guess what, friend?
What?
Hey, we're officially recording.
Hello, and welcome to the Balancing Act podcast. I am Jamie Wonko here with Mr. Joseph Vitale. Hello, Mr. Joe Vitale. How are ya?
That just caught me so off guard because, as you know, I am a lover of the show and Practical Jokers. And there's a skit with Sal, and he's like, ooh, ooh, where he like says that to people like across the thing. It just cracked me up. I don't know why.
That used to be my cousin when we would go to like a tricky tray. If she won, that was her like,
yes.
ooh, like if she won, and it just always cracks me
up. It's also
up.
like when we're on the beach and we're trying to get each other's attention, we yell, "I need a new phone case," which is the name of our family's group chat with our.
It's
with
true,
our
joint family. That's true across the families. Avery recently needed a new phone case, and I couldn't say it enough. I need a new phone case.
Well, hey, you know what else that you might need? You might need to know that our Season 3 is brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Teachers Insurance Plan. Check out their website that is tagged in our episode for more information and to get a quote. Teachers Insurance Plan, auto insurance that brings exclusive educator savings and exceptional customer care to New Jersey and Pennsylvania educational employees. And, Jamie, guess what?
What?
I have important information for you right now.
Okay, breaking news. Beep, 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 beep,
this
beep,
guy has officially made the switch. We are now officially part of the Teachers Insurance Plan family of insurance people. So, and you are so correct in that they are like the Disneyland.
They're so nice. Everybody.
They're so nice. Really, they were so incredibly nice. I realize it's an insurance company, but I was very pleased with the customer service. I was and by the way, this is not like a sponsored ad for us. Like I legitimately was very pleased with the customer service, with how attentive they were.
I'm telling you, I've called multiple times and spoken to lots of different people, and they are all equally, they really should. I don't know that I've ever been like prompted to give like any kind of a review or anything, but fives across the board. Yeah.
And I know that, I mean, I am always in awe of your presence for the fact that you have your little commercial. And hey, Chris and Emma, if you're listening, fire up the script writers.
Or jealousy? Let me sing you a song. Hey, jealousy.
It's absolutely jealousy. And
it's going to happen.
I mean,
it's
of course. I mean, anytime I get to see your gorgeous husband wearing sleeves, I mean, who wouldn't be happy with that?
The handsomest. I am, I mean, maybe he'll pop up in your commercial.
That would be amazing. I want him like in the window.
To just lift your car up. Yeah.
Well, speaking of lifting us up, we had a guest on earlier this season who's going to be joining us again. We're kind of following up with some of the college experience stuff that we've had this year. So we're really excited to bring our guest in who's been waiting for us patiently. So why don't we bring her in while we've been babbling about auto insurance? You all set?
All set?
Yeah, okay.
You bet. Heidi ho, let's go.
Heidi ho, let's go. Let's bring her in. Okay, well, hey, Jay Folds, I love your email, by the way. It's so, because it just seems like it's something that's been around for a while, because I've had the same email, like, forever, like, ever since I had an AOL account back in the day. But I love the Jay Folds. I love that. It just, I don't know why. It just makes me happy. Well, hello, Jay Foldvary. It's so good to have you back with us.
That's my personal
Yes, it's so good to have you back with us.
It's good to be back. It's great to see you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And we hear congratulations are in order. You have a recent graduate.
Yes.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Just graduated on Sunday, the Sunday before this past Sunday. So,
do you have any tips for us? How'd you do? Were you crying? Were you not? Was he your first? Is he your oldest?
He's my baby.
Okay.
This is it. We're going to be an empty nester. We're going to be empty nesters after this.
Wow.
I was just taking it all in. So I didn't cry until like the whole night was over and I came home, and then I just lost it. I think I was too busy like getting caught up in the moment and taking the pictures and all that. So, and his graduation party's this coming Sunday. So I think once that is done, then it's going to be like final.
Yeah.
So I don't have any advice. It's just have a lot of tissue and just be ready.
Got it. We like have you had a little empty nest taste last month, James, because like your kids were on the band trip and they were
All
gone
three
for
of
like
my
a long
kids went.
weekend.
Yeah, they went away for 5 days, and it was was really nice. I'm proud of when I said that.
That's great. And Jen, we will, since I have twins, right, and they're graduating and going to college in the fall, like I will also be in the empty nest boat and like, just figuring it all out. Going back to, pre-kids. I don't know what we're going to do. My wife already told me that by December we will have a third dog. And I said no. And she said, well, you could move out then. So that's basically, what I was told. So yeah, I'll either be surrounded by dogs or
it's crazy.
Yeah, I know it is crazy. Last time we spoke, for those of you who didn't listen to the episode with Jen, definitely go back and check that out. We were in the throes of like the application process and the portals, the many portals, so many portals. Now there are even more portals where like we have to sign in and do all the stuff. So, we definitely want to catch up with you and talk to you about like what we've experienced and basically if you can tell us like, is this normal? Is this how it's supposed to go? That's what we really want to jump into with you today. And also to get your perspective too, because where's your son headed in the fall? If you don't mind me asking.
He's headed to Wayne State University in Detroit. So he's going into graphic design. He's an artist. And he wanted to be in a big city, but he wanted to be a little bit closer to home. So it's not even an hour from home, which is kind of nice.
Nice.
So he's excited about it.
That's great. So we have talked, and in our last episode, Jamie and I talked about where our kids are headed. My children are headed both to the College of New Jersey in the fall, which I'm excited about for them. Right. It's also where my wife and I went, so I have a strong connection to the school, but also because I know it's a great academic school. It's going to be awesome for them, college campus-wise. I think it's going to be awesome. And Jamie, where's Drew headed again?
He's going to Stockton, which is about an hour and a half from here, so not far, and pretty close to where my parents live, so about 20 minutes away from his grandparents. So that's, that was helpful as well in knowing that he would be there. So we're excited about the whole thing. Was pretty exhausting.
Yeah,
I found it to be exhausting. I thought it was going to be like a skosh more exciting, and I did find it to be sort of more draining. Like not as much in the organizational sense, although that did take a bit to like wow, this is a lot of portals, right? But also the emotions were more than I had anticipated. Yeah.
Yes. So, don't you kind of just feel like you just want to take a big nap when graduation's over with? That's kind of how I feel.
Yeah. And I think this year more than any, because Jen, as you know, Jamie and I are both teachers, and normally the end of the school year is and we're not done. Right. So I know we're recording this, end of May. You're already finished out in your area. We're not done again till the end of June. With some days off in between for like a New Jersey primary and then the Juneteenth holiday and then half days and final exams. And my kids are done. Like, I don't know, Jamie, I can't speak about your about Drew, but like my kids are like mentally, like senioritis is there. They're just ready to be finished. Like they've had this sociology project that they've been, it's probably the most homework they've done literally all school year. But they've had this sociology project they've been working on. And like I could just see them like, oh my God, I want to get this over with. I want to get this over with. And just all the effort, time, and energy that they've been putting into this little group project. And it's the first thing in a long time that they are normally not in the same classes. And not for any other reason, but like their schedules, and Joey takes more math than Sophia does. And so it wound up lining up that they both have the same sociology class and they're partners on the same project with other people. And it's like they're working together on the same project. So that adds a whole other level of stress and anxiety, because my son will do things and they are appropriate, and my daughter will basically say, well, that's not good enough. And then it's a redo and a redo and a redo. So she's but he has
sounds great.
He has learned to be a good crew member instead of trying to be captain. He's done a good job of taking direction instead of giving direction. So I think that's very important. But yeah, we're excited.
It's good experience.
Yeah.
Because when they get to college, Yeah, when they get to college, my older son, who's going to be a senior at Bowling Green State University in the fall, he's had to do group projects still. They still have to do group projects in college. So I almost feel like it's even harder when they get to college because everybody's schedules are so different. Yeah. So it's good, good practice to work together.
Yeah,
sure.
I think one of the things we want to follow up with, and again, you're experiencing this right along with us, is like, what do you think that students and parents get most confused by during this whole process when we're going through applying and sending in stuff? Because I have some thoughts on it, but I'm wondering what your thoughts are and what you've seen through your experience and the people that you've worked with.
I think there's a couple things. First of all, the test scores, I think, is a big one because now, there's a lot of confusion around test optional. There are some schools who are still test optional. There are some that reinstated their testing requirements post-pandemic. And so, students are always asking me, should I submit my scores or should I not submit my scores? I don't know if you guys had that. Did you have that with your own?
Yes.
Jen, that was literally what I was going to bring up. That's probably the most confusing thing because some schools my daughter did put them in and my son put them in and some they did not. And there was no rhyme or reason to it. There was no we should send it to this one because of this and that one because of that. It was just like, well, it's optional, so I'm not going to send it. Well, it's preferred, so I am going to send it. So they were kind of directing how they were.
Right. Yeah, and I'm going to say my son sent them nowhere.
Oh.
He didn't submit them anywhere. They were terrible.
He didn't submit them.
He did not do well, and they weren't reflective of his time as a student, and didn't seem to affect him at all. And it didn't seem to affect the money that he was offered. It seemed like the GPA and the rank and all of his extracurriculars were what made the difference. I mean, and it's not like he was applying to Princeton or anything. So, but it didn't matter for him. And I don't, now obviously because I have two younger children that are both in 8th grade, and the idea now is I feel like, wow, I'm in a completely different position when even just making their high school schedules and kind of looking at it and seeing it just feels so different. Obviously the trial and error with your first kid, but there were some things about it that were like, I don't
but that's definitely something.
There's always changes too. I mean, it's constantly evolving and changing.
Yeah, and how different it'll be in a few years anyway.
Yeah, and before we, I ask you what else you might have thought confuses people, just to go back to the test. And a lot of schools were like, okay, we're going to accept the test scores or we're going to make it not test optional. We're going to make it mandatory, I guess. And there were some schools, not any that our kids
test
applied
required,
to, that were test required. Yes, thank you, Jen. And it was like, well, wait a minute. If you're going to make it test required, but you were not test required last year, and now you have a rising senior, and maybe they didn't necessarily put the effort in preparation and studying to make sure that they do well on their SATs, wouldn't you want to say, okay, now for the next cycle, skip a year and then tell people so they have enough time to prepare? I was just trying to wrap my head around, what's the reason why? And you might not know. I don't think anybody knows the answer to this. What's the reason why? We're going to go to test required.
No, it would be nice.
Yeah. I don't see any.
No, that would be nice. But every year we get hit with surprises. And it's usually right around within the next month or two, we are starting to hear, about some changes with colleges, with their admission materials, or, what they're requiring every year. We've already heard a few things that have been changing as far as, them canceling or getting rid of their supplemental writing, and then some are adding them. And so it's just every year. It's hard in our profession as college consultants, because we've got to try to keep up with all of these thousands of schools, making changes every year. So they're unpredictable. You just never know.
Did you feel like and again, I know that this is something that you do, year round, right? But did you feel that you were at an advantage or a disadvantage, knowing more, knowing more than the average college applicant or parent? Almost like maybe too much information is too much information,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just feel like that's all around in our lives. That's just what it is. Like there's too much going on all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And then of course, is it like, well, you're my mom, and so I know it's like your job and stuff, but
yes.
Do you really know? Because you're my mom, right? That would, to me, would be always the element at play. Like as a teacher, I tell my children, like we work in the district where we live and our children go to school. And I'll say to them, like, but this is the policy. They're like, no. And I'm like, no, it is. I'm 25 years. I promise. Like no. I'm like, oh, okay, guys. Yeah. So was that at play for you at all, Jen?
I will tell you, it's the biggest thing I get. So, as you know, I work for Educational Connections, and I'm an independent college consultant there. And almost every single parent that I talk to says, I just need my son or my daughter to talk to you because they don't want to listen to me because I'm mom and dad, or I'm mom or I'm dad. And, they think that I don't know anything. So just hearing it from somebody else just makes all the difference in the world. And honestly, I relate to that because it's the same way with my kids. It was a little different for me because before I came to Educational Connections, I was at the high school that they were at. Right. So it's like they could not escape me, But yeah, it is always easier to have somebody else work with your own student because they just, they think mom and dad are just outdated and old and don't know what they're talking about. So
I have the exact same conversations with the kids I do executive function work with because they don't want to listen to mom and dad.
Yeah.
And there's a power struggle there, but I'm out of that circle. So I can have those conversations about, hey, try this or use a planner or use this. And they'll be like, oh, that makes sense. And I'll be like, I'm going to say, because I even tell them like, hey, once my kids got to be 13, I didn't know anything anymore. Yeah. So it's not uncommon what they're feeling, right? I'm sure that every kid goes through that.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. It becomes
I remember our talk in the fall piece that I took away and then didn't follow. So I'm gonna tell on myself here a little bit. But so I had said, I remember you telling us, like, do not apply to a school that you are not interested in going to. And, and so we kind of, when he had sat down with the list of, places and different, and it was like, so I was under the impression that there would be like some interest but there was one in particular that really like the entire time. And it was like, but you got in and they gave you a really good amount of money. So we probably should visit. No. Like, but what, and I was, well, Jen said, but it was, and I guess at the time it was kind of like, I don't know. And, you get the waiver codes and you don't have to pay to apply. So, at that point we weren't really losing a whole lot of time or money in sort of sending it out into the void, to kind of see what was going to shake back. But I do think that was probably like my favorite piece of advice that you gave us in the fall of, there is no reason to do that. And so the kids who start collecting 15, 20 applications, it's not, he did 7, my son. So I can't say that it got crazy out of hand, but I thought it was a good amount. Yeah.
We applied.
Well, and that's the very reason why our application numbers are so high right now, because it's so easy to apply. And then you've got those waiver codes. So you're like, hey, we don't have to pay an application fee. Let's just go ahead and apply, even though but it's making it more and more competitive for students now because the application numbers are so high and you've got all these students competing for all these spots. Right. So,
which also might be part of the reason and the justification for going to test required. Maybe they're trying to, they have so many applicants that are in a pool that are so similar to one another. Maybe those test scores will be at least something that they could say, okay, this person's got a slightly higher score. Right. And they're going to go into this major, so maybe we'll give them an extra check mark in the box. And this is also from somebody that has no idea what he's talking about. Like, I'm just guessing.
Yeah, it's a good theory, though.
Yeah. Well, that's part of it. But the other thing is you also have so many students who are applying with very similar GPAs, course rigor, and test scores. So we need something else to set them apart on their application. So that's where the essays and the extracurriculars and all that comes in, because you have so many students that'll have very similar academic credentials. So we've got to now, the new thing is, how am I going to set myself apart from everybody else?
Exactly.
And that's what I work on a lot with my students.
And what are some of the pieces of advice that you give those students that are looking to set themselves apart?
Well, what we do is hopefully I meet with them early enough where we get a chance I have them create what's called an activities and awards tracker. And we list all of their extracurriculars on there and we talk about it. And, colleges, it's not just a laundry. It used to be like, how many things can I join so that I can list them all on my application? And it's not like that anymore. Now colleges are looking for depth. They want to know, if you're involved in this activity, what are you doing with this activity? Are you just showing up for a meeting and then that's it? Or are you the treasurer? Are you creating a specific community service project? What are you doing within those organizations? And so if I can get with my students early enough, we talk about that and we say, okay, this is an area you need to work on here if you want to highlight that on your application. So that's part of it. And then the other part is, of course, the essay, is making them come to life. Already they see on the application all of the other stuff, the stuff that you're involved in, the academics, all that. Now in the essay, we want to make them fall in love with you, right? We want to make the admission. I mean, I know it sounds weird, but you want that personal thing now, in there. So
you want somebody to remember you. You want somebody to be like, hey, that was a really clever thought. Like I actually I shared my essay with my son's essay with you, Jen, because we had talked here. I said, would you mind just like I'm his dad and I'm a teacher and I edit stuff all the time. Would you like to take a look at this for me to give me some feedback? Because he had this idea about why pizza delivery drivers are heroes. That was his essay topic, which I thought was really clever. But I was kind of wondering where he was going with it. And some of your feedback, actually supported some of the things that he was looking to do of adding more detail in certain areas and making sure that he's speaking about, how it impacts him or others. You know what I mean? So he really crafted something that I think was unique to his personality and that was clever. So, I think those are.
I love essays like that. It's one of my favorite parts of my job is reading these essays and all their creativity.
Yeah, that's definitely something that was a very fun part of the process. It was a lot less painstaking than I thought.
For sure.
For sure. So.
And then the portals came.
And then the portals came. It was just.
And the portals rained down on me. Portals.
Yes. Have you ever thought, I work in education, why is finding a job so weirdly hard?
Yeah, scrolling through random job boards where half the listings don't even make sense is not the vibe.
That's why NJSchoolJobs.com actually makes sense.
It's a job board built specifically for New Jersey schools, public, private, charter, and parochial.
Teachers, administrators, counselors, support staff, coaching opportunities. If your job involves a bell schedule, this site's for you.
It's free for job seekers. You can upload your resume, set job alerts, and apply without jumping through hoops.
Schools across New Jersey actively use NJSchoolJobs.com, so these are real, current openings.
They also host virtual job fairs where you can connect with multiple districts online. No driving all over the state.
Those are coming up soon, so check the link in our episode description to register.
Head to NJSchoolJobs.com.
Hey Teacher Besties, I'm Andrea Forcum, and I am so excited to share with you that my book, They Never Taught Us That, is available right now. It is everything an experienced or first-year teacher needs to manage the chaos of the modern classroom, including some anecdotes to make you feel a little bit better. Because if there is a way that you can screw up, I've probably done it. It also has advice on how to build trust with families, how to manage grading and lesson plans and IEPs and everything else that they never went over in your teacher prep program. They Never Taught Us That is available everywhere right now.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And there's a different portal. For every school has their own portal, and you got to log in, then you got to authenticate, and you got to, it is a lot. It is a lot. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm just not sure I'm made for it. I don't want any more.
I don't know if anybody is.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean, it really is just so many passwords for everything in your life. And then, and that was, I had one point of the, well, he was already in, but, we had to have the very, this is adulting. And, most of it is just don't give up. It's not really that you're smarter or better or faster. It's just that like you didn't stop when something like this happened. And it's so true. It's like, oh my gosh, the password, and then it didn't work, but then I got locked out, and then I had, right? So it's like,
yes.
Good.
So it happens to so many people. Just yesterday, we were choosing housing. It was his day to choose housing for his on-campus housing. And, you get this little window of time, and he's got his roommates all set. So he's trying to, he's FaceTiming with them while he was like because they pick one leader because he's living with 4. And, so he's online. I'm trying to help him navigate it. And, you've got this little window of time that you got to hurry up and pick your room that you want before somebody else gets it. And I think I needed a glass of wine after that. I was like, okay, this is just a lot.
Yeah, I think
there's a lot of situations like that where you wonder, is this over? It's just, where have we gone wrong here, everybody?
Oh, that's a lot of the extra stress that comes.
Everything's over the top nowadays.
Oh yeah, and we haven't even started talking about like the bed parties and the other things about
We're not for the bed parties, Jen. How do you feel about them?
What, the bed parties? Am I missing something here? What's the bed parties?
So you have 2 sons, right, Jen? Correct? Oh, sorry about my balloons.
We said party. We said party too many times.
Sorry. So you have 2 sons. So I think this is more of a female thing, where they do a bed party. So you get into the school, and then they decorate your bed. Okay. If like the colors of the school,
so like in your at-home bedroom, you are then featured on social media in your own bed, but every single thing around you is decorated in the colors of the school, the balloons, the name of the school, 18 shirts, sweatshirt. I'm always amazed at like, how can you afford to go to the college after you've bought all the merch of the college? But like, you do you, boo.
It's not just like a couple things. It's like
50,000 things. Yeah. And Joe and I have decided we don't like it.
I really think that I agree with you. I don't like it either. I think social media has hyped up so much. Like even if you look at the sorority stuff, that's on with the TikTok and all the stuff that they do now. I mean, it's just it's hard because I think a lot of students are. Rush talk, that's what it's called.
I'm sorry, but like mid-August, I am rush talk. Like I am for it. So I will say, okay, maybe I am a bed party enthusiast. I don't know. No.
Yeah, I'm sure your son would love.
I mean, it's fun to watch.
Go ahead and try to plan that.
No, he would never.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, can we buy a sweatshirt? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, come on, like let's go to the bookstore and let's buy you a sweatshirt. And he's like, is this because they gave you a coupon? And I was like, yeah, kind of. Exactly. Let's go.
So,
and you've got to get the sweatshirt that says mom on it and be all proud. And
it's like, boy.
That is the one thing.
I think sometimes with.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, the one thing my wife did want was the sweatshirt that was like,
I was going to say.
J Mom. She did want that.
That's cute.
Yeah, because that's
one.
Yeah, one.
Not
but, like,
47.
I'll send you a picture later, or like somebody's Instagram post. It's like it's a sequined, like champagne bottle, but it's not champagne in it, and it's like
all the snacks. Like if you go to like University of Delaware, it's like everything's got to be blue. Yeah. Wow.
I gotta see if I gotta try and find it.
That's crazy. I mean, the thing that I do worry about is. Try and find it. Students are constantly comparing themselves to these profiles and unrealistic expectations. And I think the mental health I worry about a little bit with that, because I've seen the one, the TikToks where the girls didn't get the sorority they wanted, and then they were just, and it's just like, this is all out there for everybody to see, like we didn't have to deal with that when we were younger. And so that's another challenge that our kids are dealing with. That it's,
Jen, are you on Instagram or no? You're not, right? You're not on Instagram. Or
I have an account, but I rarely look at it.
No, because I'll send you a screenshot because I don't want to put it on here because like there's a person in it. But I'm going to send you a screenshot of the picture that I'm referring to. So you guys are going to have to search these out on your own.
One of my favorite quotes,
so
and something that I say, not just as a mom or person with my friends
just
and my
send
family,
it to you on your phone.
But also at the teaching middle school, is comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes,
and it speaks to the age that we teach, where you're really always looking around. I always thought that was like so 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old, where you are just constantly like, everyone has everything and I have nothing and everyone's better than me. And then 15, 16, 17, to me, like, you start growing out from that a bit. You have a better or stronger self-identity, self-worth, and you can feel a little bit more comfortable in your own skin. And so what I find, I guess, sometimes difficult about these practices is that it's like we're going backwards. It's like a bit of an arrested development, where instead of really being, forward motion and look what I did for myself, to validate that it's just this. And I mean, I post on social media and I do all of that stuff, and I get it. But it is like to a level where, I
think this one that I sent you, Jen, I think it's a company. I think there's a company that actually does this. Like, this is they're staging these things.
Like, they come in and do it for you, a party planner, but they. Yeah.
You hire somebody to do it.
Yeah. No, so I sent you a picture of the...
I'll have to look at it. I don't have my phone near me. I'll have to look at it.
So I would be very interested to see your
You could be horrified later.
Yeah. Like, I don't think they bought all of that stuff. Because if you look at who they've tagged... Yeah, exactly. If you look at who they've tagged, like, they've tagged other, like, companies, if you will. Like, I think there's like a staging company. Like, you would get, like, they come in with the balloons and the merch, and it's like all staged.
But a lot of people buy all of that themselves, and they don't.
And there are some
it.
people that,
Yes.
It's crazy. I think that's part of the process.
I know they do that with sorority, with like their dorm rooms. They hire somebody to come in and or their residence hall rooms to decorate them. I'm like, wow, what?
Yeah,
I had milk crates when I was in.
Yeah, milk crates. Oh, I loved a good milk crate.
Milk crates.
Yeah, exactly.
I put all my sweatshirts and everything in there.
Of course, yeah.
It's different.
So it's just crazy to be like, that's. I mean, I think it's an unrealistic expectation that we're trying to have our kids live up to. But I really think it's for the parents to, like, show out. Here's my kid, and you're bragging about them. If that's if that's you, great. If you're comfortable with that, awesome. I'm not. Mm-hmm. Like, my daughter won a scholarship, and it was a Vietnam Veterans Memorial Scholarship, and I talked about her today in my classes because I was doing a lesson on Vietnam to talk about my father-in-law a little bit, and I also mentioned that my daughter won the scholarship because the essay is about my father-in-law, and, like, even that made me a little uncomfortable. Like, I'm bragging about my daughter winning a scholarship, but, like, I'm just not showy.
Right.
But there's a difference between being proud, being a fine example, sharing the, the road, the journey, the experiences that you have, especially like in our situation, with a lot of our students that are now approaching high school, and you're able to say to them, like, these are options. These are things that you may or may not, like, you might need money for college. And if you do well academically, you're going to get some, not because you applied or wrote an essay, but just because they just will give it to you, and then look at all these bonuses of things like my daughter wrote an essay. And I don't think that that's bragging. There's a very distinct difference between being proud, sharing a big moment, rather than like it becomes like this over the top, right? And there shouldn't be a feeling for you, Joe, or anybody like that, where it's like, oh, you're not bragging. Like, that's a very important personal achievement in your family. You should want to share that. It's this over the top nature that blurs the lines of those things, I think. But
So
for sure.
One of the things we'd like to, talk about here is that, like, not every child finishes where they start, right? So our kids, of course, are saying, like, hey, we're going to go to this school. We're going to major in this program. But I think it would be important to have a little discussion here, because maybe there are some parents out there and some of our listeners that are dealing with this. Like, what if college isn't what your child expected? Like, what does transferring look like? And how does one go about that process? Like, and I asked, I sent you some things that I maybe wanted to talk about beforehand. Like, do you know, like, any facts and figures on, like, how common it is for students to transfer? Or, like, should we just be encouraging our students to, like, give it more time? Right?
I always tell my students, and this is when I worked at the high school, I'd have a student, halfway into first semester of college call, Mrs. Foldvary, I don't know what to do. I'm unhappy here. I'm afraid I made the wrong decision. And, whether it's grades or friends or whatever it is. And I always tell them, give it at least a semester, if not an entire year. Okay. Because everybody gets homesick. It's a huge transition. It's a major change in your life. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to just seamlessly go perfectly, for everybody. I have several examples. I had a student, he graduated with my son, and he went to school far, far away, and he like across the country. And I remember him calling me and saying, I don't know if this is right for me. I'm thinking about, getting back, closer to home. Do you think I should transfer? And this was like towards the end of first semester. And I said, can you give it one more semester? Can you just stick it out for the whole year? And he's like, I'm going to give it a try. And he did. I'm so proud of him. He did. And he is like the big man on campus now, like having the most amazing experience. He'll be a senior in the fall. He's like one of my own. I love this kid. And he stuck it out, and he ended up like everything changed for him. He just needed some time to get used to the whole process, and get over the homesickness and meet some friends and get involved in some organizations and things on campus. And so I really tell students, unless there is a major issue, a major health issue or, financial issue or something, I really tell students, try to give it a year before you make any major changes. And I also tell parents, don't be ready to just pull them out the minute that something goes wrong. They have to learn to kind of work through, some adverse things. It's just part of life. It's what we all have to do, right? So, of course, that's what we do as parents. We want to go ahead and save them right away. But, I always encourage parents, if a student is struggling academically or they're struggling with friends or whatever it is, there's so many resources on college campuses that can help students. There's tutoring, there's mental health services, there's, have them try those avenues first before just pulling the plug,
Yeah, I think this is
because you've made this investment, at some point.
Go ahead. You're good. You're good, Jen.
I was just going to say, I can see. That's okay. I can see. I think we have a little bit of a lag, so I can see, how you'd want to pull them out right away, and come home to mama. I'll take care of you and everything. But we need to let them hit a couple of speed bumps and figure out how to navigate those speed bumps before we just let them come home or let them change. We've already made that investment. They've already, they've decided that they love the college. They've gone to visit the school. They made this decision on their own. So now let's give them some time to grow. And that's what I usually tell families.
Yeah, I think this is more than just, hey, my roommate sucks. This is, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's a problem that you're going to have to figure out.
Right.
Like that's, yes, there's dynamics that might not meet, or you might not have the two people. So there's things that you can do besides I want to go home. But also, I'm really glad you made the point of like, yeah, you need to use some of the services that are on campus for you. You have residence hall directors. You have, student groups that you can go to and talk to. You have, like you said, academic tutoring. Checking in with your professors, like how important is that as a strategy to be like, go to office hours, show that you're interested or show that you're struggling, because a lot of times, your professors are going to be willing to help you, and especially when you're making that extra step forward. I think that's really important.
Yeah,
Right.
agreed. And
Right.
I like the idea of the whole. I'm always a big fan of like an entire year. You know, there are seasons and changes, and you know, some of us do better in you know, the fall as opposed to like the darkness of winter, which is never good for me. You know, so I think that it really, you know, there is something to that, you know, whole entire year experience to be able to see if it's, you know, right or not. And it is a really big investment, like you said. So to walk away from that financially is also can be a big difficulty. You know, like you said, if it's not for like a health situation or something like that. But yeah, I wonder. I probably it's probably not as many kids, you know, that drop out or transfer change as you might think. I don't know. I wouldn't know the numbers unless we looked them up. But
yeah, and I think that's great advice. Like telling like, hey, your kid's they got to develop some calluses a little bit, right? You kind of have to learn those skills because you're going to be in a work environment where not everybody's going to gel. You're going to have a boss that's not going to be ideal. Everyone's been there. I've had them. I'm sure everybody.
Except the difference is you don't have to live with those people.
Well, true. I mean, I'm not talking about like living with a roommate.
Yeah, because the roommate situation to me is we went through the steps like in the portal. Of course, there's a portal for that, but another portal, separate portal, and look through and the questions like to match. At my son's school there was just a few, and the explanation was, well, the kids stopped filling the whole thing out. So we like oversimplified the form, and you know, and it was, you know, I thought, oh, okay, I guess, you know, I don't know. The idea of like living in like that tiny little space with another person is so horrifying to me that you know, but my son is going to live in a single for his first year, and we kind of collectively came to like what we thought would be best for his mental health and well-being, and it was something that my husband and I both had felt like strongly about for him, especially because, you know, maybe if it was one of his buddies from home that he could like had already had an established relationship. So we had said to him, you know, as you go forward in your college experience, you meet friends and you guys decide to go, you know, the four of you, or they have apartments when you get older, something like that, fine. But we'll say, you know, and then of course it's like, oh no, is it going to be too isolating? And, you know.
That's what I went back and forth with. Because I talked with my son about like, hey, if there's somebody, I said like maybe, because they have such a very close group, right? I didn't want him to become a closed circle. I wanted to be like, all right, maybe you don't room with him, not Jamie's son, but like maybe you don't room with one of your friends and you branch out a little bit and find somebody else, and then meet some other people. You know, one of the things, and I don't know what Stockton does, one of the things that I think TCNJ does very well is they do their welcome week for freshmen, and they are on campus like a couple days beforehand. I want to say it's like 5 days beforehand. They go on a Thursday, but classes don't start until Tuesday the following week, and that Thursday when they arrive, there are all sorts of things that they do, and they meet their residents,
all kinds of activities,
and they do all sorts of activities, and there's movies and s'mores and games and you know, seminars for them to go to.
It's great.
Campus.
Does that make you just want to go back to college?
Yeah, and you know what? I missed out on that because I transferred in there, and so did my wife. Like neither of us went through that, and I think that's also part of the reason where, as seniors, they have senior week, and the kids get to go back, and they go back into the freshman towers. So the freshmen move out, and then the seniors have senior week, and then all the seniors move back into the towers, like for like a weekend, and they do all sorts of stuff for the seniors. So you get that nostalgia of, oh my God, I get to go back and do that. Like welcome week was so much fun, and now I get to go back and live and be there, and at that point they're 21. So things are probably a little different in regards to what their college experience looks like.
It's a magical time. I think it's a magical time in your life to be in college.
Yeah,
it really is.
Of course it is.
So much fun and so tiring, right? I don't know if I was ever as exhausted as I was when I was in college, right? You got to get a good nap going. It was like, oh, I'm so tired.
Yeah, I know mine is going to be even, like, I know, like, right before they move in, and it's, like, the packing and putting everything together, like, that'll be stressful. Because I know my daughter's going to want to be like, I'll take this and this and this. I'm like, honey, it's an hour away. Okay, so if you really need, like, the winter stuff, we'll bring it to you. Yeah. Like, you can meet us every once in a while.
And the
you
rooms
can
are
see
small.
Us,
There's not a lot of room for storage.
Yeah,
No.
there's Parents' Weekend. We can
Right.
come see you. Like, we
Right.
love you. You love us. We could see each other. And Jamie's like, well.
No, it's good. I have to say that, it's like the downside of social media is some of that, comparing. But the upside is the amount of videos and reels that I get on organizational tips for small spaces.
Oh,
fascinating. Ooh, you got to get on that side because even just like buy this bag and then pack it this way and then do, all of those things are so cool.
I've seen some of those already.
Amazon is a godsend. It's amazing.
Yeah, I've seen like some of the things not to buy. I've seen some of that. I've seen like buying them like a little tool set would be helpful. Like a little it's got like a little box and it's got like a hammer and a screwdriver and a tape measure. Like, I'll probably give that to my son and then he can, if my daughter ever needs it, he can run across the building and go get it. But yeah, it's very exciting. It's exciting. It's stressful. It's it's a culmination of hard work, right? All the kids that we have went through this process that are now about to take this big giant step, which we hope that some of the conversations that we've had with you and with some of the people as we end up our season 3 here are going to give any parent that's on the way and about to get this journey started some insight. Like, Jen, what's one tip of advice that you might give a parent that's like of a rising sophomore or rising junior as like they get started in this process of like, all right, let's figure out what we're doing with this whole college thing? Like, what would one piece of advice be that you would say, here's one way you would get started? And I'm sure there's more than one.
I think the first, it depends. To get started, when you're thinking about your list, when you're thinking about creating your college list and looking at your colleges, students need to know who they are, what they want, what they're looking for. So, maybe just start there. Just start asking themselves, how far away am I willing to go? Am I okay with living on campus? Do I want to live at home? Do I know a major? Do I want to go to a larger school? Am I maybe a little bit more comfortable in a smaller classroom? Just start asking themselves those kinds of questions. And maybe even, I know it sounds early, but just go tour a college campus somewhere close to home. Even if it's not one that you've thought you think you'll apply to, just to get on a college campus and see what it's like. Because with that first campus visit that you take, I find that students realize that what they do like and what they don't like, and it just starts coming together for them. So, evaluating yourself and your must-haves, I think, is really important to get started. Start early. The earlier you start, the better, because I'm even meeting with 8th and 9th graders. That's really early.
Oh,
but
okay.
We have time then to explore majors. We have time to, talk about all these things. We start building their college narrative early on. So we talk about, hey, what are you going to do this summer? What are some things that you can work on this summer, or things maybe you want to get involved in the following school year, so that we can start, looking at building your college narrative, what we're going to add to your college applications now. Absolutely. So, the earlier the better. And yeah.
I think that's great advice. And we're very thankful that the universe works in mysterious ways and connected us with you so we could, talk through some of this stuff and figure out that, hey, what we've experienced is actually kind of normal.
Yeah. And one thing I say all the time to my students is, if you want to go to college, there's one for you.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely
that, that's the biggest idea out there that, I'm not going to get. Yes, you will go to college. Yeah. It is possible for everybody and anybody that's willing and wants to, Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we sign off, hey, should we thank our season 3 sponsor again there, Jamie? Should we do that?
I think we should.
Yeah,
Season 3 is brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Teachers Insurance Plan. Check out their website for more information and to get a quote. Teachers Insurance Plan, auto insurance that brings exclusive educator savings and exceptional customer care to New Jersey and Pennsylvania educational employees. Jen, Joe, I appreciate you both so much.
Yes, I appreciate you too, Jen.
Good luck to you. Good luck to your kiddos.
Yes,
Thank you, Jen.
too.
I appreciate
Thank
that.
you so much.
And we wish your son the best
Thanks
of
for
luck.
having me back.
Yeah, we really enjoyed having you the first time, and it was great to catch up with you and for you to tell us that we're normal.
Well, she never said.
And I'll be happy to come back anytime.
All right, sounds good.
Much.
Jen, thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time on the Balancing Act podcast.
Look for the Balancing Act podcast every week on your favorite podcast platform. New episodes drop every Tuesday. Thank you for being a part of our audience. We appreciate you.